In a movie we saw together, an old man compared his wife, whom he had spent many years with, to the sun. It was just a sad and boring movie. All I remember was Misaki bawling her eyes out. That was the only line that stayed with me. Misaki was like the sun. She attracted everything, forgave everything, illuminated and spun everything around. I was just happy to be spun around by her. So, I just found a really nice piece of cardboard in my room, and I'd like to make something out of it. How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well and having an amazing day on top of that. My hope is that this video will be a chill one for everyone, and hopefully this will inspire some of you out there to go out and create something. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a tea or a coffee, get underneath a cozy blanket, and just vibe out for a little bit. Sometimes life moves extremely fast, and oftentimes there isn't exactly a way to come to a complete stop. However, there are things we can do within our everyday lives to slow down, even if it's just for a little bit. And a thing that I personally like to do in times of stress and overwhelming dread is to take the time to create some relaxing art. Making art is truly a superpower, even if it's just as a hobby. I feel as though I am at my calmest when I'm either making a video, journaling, drawing, working on a craft, or indulging myself in one of the previously established hobbies that I've talked about on the channel. And something that I've really liked to do as of recently is make a collage. This folder right here is actually the first collage I ever made back in my 7th grade art class. It's not great. I knew that then, and I still know that now to this day. However, now that I am a 20-something-year-old artist, I've definitely made 1 or 2 more collages since then, and some other ones that I've created were actually 3 from a Photoshop class that I took in college. Well, my hope is that by me showing my process and everything else going into making a collage, it will inspire somebody out there to take the much needed time to step away for a moment and indulging themselves in some self-healing, also known as just working on a little craft. It's a distraction that helps me, and hopefully it'll help somebody out there. All right, let's talk materials. Personally, I like to use cardboard as the base of all of my collages. I feel as though it's thick enough and sturdy enough to have possibly hundreds of pieces of paper on top of it without folding in on itself. Not to say that some folding won't occur, but realistically, your background can be done with almost any material. You can use a book cover, a very large piece of paper, or even an old piece of wood that you found outside. The world is literally your oyster when it comes to this decision of your background. You'll also need to find yourself a trusty pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife. Next, you'll need both regular glue and a glue stick. Once we're actually making the collage, I'll go into why I recommend using both, so just for now, have them both readily available for your use. The final thing you'll need is the actual piece of media you'd like to collage. This could be many things: magazine cutouts, film strips, picture books, manga, comics, newspaper clippings, coupons, for all I even care. Whatever your intention is, go for it. I feel as though I shouldn't have to state this, but I will anyway. I am not asking anyone to cut up their favorite childhood book or using another family member's media. If you are taking a photo or something from a family photo album or an object owned by another human being, I'm sure they would at least appreciate you asking permission to use them. Just throwing that out there, not that I haven't done that or anything. But you can always learn from my mistakes. Nor am I saying that you should cut up your favorite manga, comic, or graphic novel to create a piece of art. If anything, just bite the bullet and buy a new copy of whatever work you'd like to collage on and just work on that. My example of one such thing being I would never in my right mind collage the first volume of Bleach that my cousin gave me many years ago. That volume just means way too much to me. Alright, now we have all of our materials gathered and we are now ready to start our actual collage. So I will be seeing you guys in a little bit after it's all done. So cue that transition and that montage music. I thought I was gonna say something funny, but I didn't. Off to a great start. Hello, hi. Welcome to week 2 of making a collage. Ooh, I don't get out much. It's been a week, and I still have quite a bit left to cut out. So ideally, obviously, I would have liked to have had this all cut out beforehand. Not like life got in the way, like I think I took the much needed time to, like, you know, I don't know, spend time with like friends and everything. Just like not being stuck in a room all day, just cutting things. I mean, not that this isn't fun. So I just thought, what better way than to just, like, you know, sit down, chill with you guys, talk for a little bit, and just continue cutting, because just, like, why not, honestly. When you're cutting out, like, manga panels, depending on the series, you will soon figure out, like, what your biggest problems will be, or at least, like, most challenging problems. I guess with, like, Evangelion, it was all of the mechanical intricacies of the Evas. They're so detailed, and they're so extravagant, and they're very pointy. So cutting them out was just very difficult, as you could probably imagine, especially with the antenna and, like, the various spikes they have around, because you kind of have to go in and then do a full, like, 180 turn, and it's just, like, it's a little complicated. But, like, with this, I've really become to learn that, like, the biggest part about Bleach that is the issue is, like, the character's hair, because so many different characters have specific points to them. Like, even, like, Ichigo and his, like, little spiky hair, like, even though it doesn't spike up like Vash, like, honestly, I think Vash would be honestly easier to cut out because it's kind of just like a porcupine. But, like, with this, there's just, like, a lot of, like, little cuts, like a little cut in, and you immediately have to go out, and then kind of, yeah, that's, like, the best way to describe it, honestly. I've also been taking some time to, like, read and everything, because I bought a book in Europe with my mom. I bought one manga, one short story, and then just like one regular book. And I've read both the short story and the manga. The manga is Good Night Pun Pun, and then the short story, I don't remember the name because I'm stupid and dumb, and I also am bad at pronunciation because, you know, dyslexia. I mean, not that dyslexia like really has a problem with like pronouncing anything per se. It's just mostly just like the spelling, and I sound things out, and it just doesn't come out the same. That's just what I'm trying to say. But Goodnight Pun Pun, super sad. Like, holy shit. That was a trip. I knew it was gonna be sad because of like all the memes that the series has kind of conjured up since its creation, but I didn't think it was gonna be like that sad, let alone in the first volume. And there's like 5 or 6 more left, and it's like, oh, what did I sign up for? I'm reading Zom 100. I love Zom 100. I loved it when the anime came out, and that's how I heard of it, and that's how a lot of people heard of it as well, I'm assuming. But now that the series may or may not be in permanent hiatus, at least in terms of the anime, I have to read the manga, because I fell in love with the story, and it was very inspiring to me, as someone who struggles with just, like, anxiety and everything, and also someone who was working a dead-end job that I absolutely hated. Obviously, like, I think a lot of us can align with that and can agree that maybe we're not working the jobs we want to work, but as long as you're making the best of it, I think you're gonna be fine. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Listen, I've been there. I've been, and this isn't even a job to me. Like, hypothetically, could the channel be monetized right now? Yes. Am I going to monetize it? Yes, to make a little bit of extra money, but like, am I expecting a whole lot? Fuck no, I'm not. Absolutely not. That would be egregious. And also, like, it's just like a lot of work. I know it's probably not a lot of work, but like, I don't know, it's just in my head. It's all in my head, like always. That's why we take medication, folks. So we're not always in our head. I do have to say, though, I think it's very ironic. So currently, in this whole cutting out thing, I am currently on the Everything But the Rain volume, so volume 60, and I thought it was very ironic. So where I live, last week when I started this project, it was raining every single day profusely. And ever since I started cutting out Everything But the Rain, it's been nothing but sunshine. And if you are a fan of Bleach, and if you understand the context of the story and Everything But the Rain, I mean, it's like not on the nose, but you can assume that rain has to do with it. And Kubo even has a little excerpt in the beginning of when the volume begins of like, read this on a rainy day. And I just thought it was very ironic that I'm cutting out the thing that literally this whole motif has like been building up to, and it's sunny out. Like, of course. But when that kind of started happening, I kind of got thinking to myself why exactly I'm creating this project right now. Because at the time of recording this, I have a ton of different videos lined up for you guys that are currently just in the queue. I have uploaded them onto the channel. They're just currently private right now. And mostly it's because of the fact that, so my friend, Michael, who has an amazing channel. You guys should definitely go check it out. Flitch. Link in the description down below, and also maybe something on screen. I don't know, definitely something on screen. Yeah. But after I dropped my Fearin video, he loved it, and he saw that my audience and you guys like just completely just like blew up the channel. Like, that video was the reason why all you guys are here, like, watching this stuff, which is, I'm so thankful for that, obviously. And he gave me the advice that my next video, or even videos, should be just like the Fearin video, because you guys have subscribed for those videos. And I 100% agree with him in that fact, but it's been 4 months and I haven't made another video like that. All of the other videos in the queue are completely different and are much more experimental. And they're just things that I wanted to create at that specific time, even before the Freerun video. There's one idea that's currently privated that I've had for over a year, and I just decided one day, screw it. I've waited a year, more than a year. I just need to make this video. And I did, and it took me a day, and then I took the next day, or the next day and a half to edit it, and then it was done, and like, boom, like we're chilling. So I have that, and then there's something that I was putting together at the same time of the Freerun video, and that's all done. And then I have a morning brew episode, which has literally been brewing since June. And then I went to Europe, and I really needed that trip. I know that sounds very prideful of me, or I just sound like an asshole, basically. I don't want people to think like, oh, like my life fucking sucks. Like, no, it doesn't. No, like I'm very blessed in the fact that I have such an amazing community, and not even like community of like you guys are obviously incredible, and I love every single one of you. And more than anything, I just hope you guys are doing well. And if anything, I just hope these videos kind of give you a little bit of breath of fresh air, or just like make you realize that, oh, I'm not the only person going through this. I guess my goal or my mission statement is to be a voice for the voiceless, because I know that sounds super fucking, I don't know what word I'm trying to think of or say, but again, just like an asshole. Like, I don't want it to seem like, oh, like because I'm not better than anybody. I'm worse, actually, but I don't actually think that. But, oh God, what was I even saying? See, this is what happens, bro. I just start yapping to the camera and then I don't remember. But, I want to be a voice for the people who are either afraid to speak up, or have never learned how to speak up, or won't speak up, or don't know how to. Like there's just, I've gone through so much of my life not knowing how to say something, and I figured out that this channel is actually a way for me to say all the things in my head that I can't say with words, but I can use with visual cues or storytelling, or just talking about something that's really passionate to me, that struck a chord with me and made me want to create something. That's why I make videos. That is simply why. When I just get those comments of just like, hey, this really stuck with me, I was also going through a similar situation, thank you for making this video, that is truthfully all I want. I just want that. I want to make people feel good with my art, and I genuinely do believe that what I'm doing here is art. I guess it's not just mindless. It's not just like mindless stuff you're scrolling onto the internet. The definition of art has just changed dramatically over the years. Now everybody is an artist, and I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. But like, I definitely think there is a difference between like, you know, brain rot and then an informative video essay, or even a tutorial can still be art, because you're teaching someone how to do, like, again, like the term of what art is so broad, but I think deep down, the heart of what art is either striking a chord or striking some sort of emotion, whether it is positive or negative. There just has to be some emotion behind it, I guess. There needs to be a sense of emotion. And going on emotion and everything, I've kind of been not feeling the best for a while. In Europe, obviously, like that was life-changing, and I don't want to talk about that or anything, but just like outside of that, like there was a reason why I needed to go on that trip, why I just needed that cleanse, I guess. I felt different after that trip, and all of my friends also agree that I am different because of that. And they're all starting to see how I've become growing and how I will continue to grow as a human being. And I'm very excited to see who I will become in the future, truthfully. And kind of on that note, circling back to the whole idea of like why I haven't been making those kind of videos and I've just been making these, is because I think a part of me believes that I'm not ready yet. I kind of just want to read a little bit of something from my journal, if that's all right with you guys. So I wrote this on September 28th, 2025, and it's titled, Why I'm Not Creating the Projects I Know I Should. To be completely transparent with myself, I just don't think I'm ready. When I come back, I want it to be positive and uplifting, like a breath of fresh air. A lot of my thoughts have been depressing or even sad as of late. Even though I don't always cover the happiest topics on the planet, I want it to feel genuine and coming from a place of pure love and honesty. I want others to grow alongside with me. I want things to be meaningful and to have a purpose behind it. Currently, it just feels like I can't do that. Continue to create, but never stop. Create the things that I can at this given time, but also push yourself to do more and to do better. Do not stay stagnant and comfortable. Get uncomfortable and put your energy into something new. Do the impossible. And that is underlined because I genuinely believe in the fact that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. And if somebody tries to come with you with like logistics and real world application and also just this idea, you need to be more realistic in your expectations and in your mindset and how to create things. I understand what that person is saying, but also fuck that person, because clearly it kind of shows to me that they gave up on something at one point and they're just cool with that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to give up on something and be cool. If I give up on something, I want it to break me. I want it to crush my spirit, so that means I can regrow because of that. Literally like a phoenix from the ashes. I want to create with purpose and not just for the sake of click, 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 click. I don't want to create a video that someone watches and then they just move on to the next video, but it doesn't give them that like aha moment. And I don't even want like an aha moment that changes your perception on reality. Like, no, I just want to impact your day in a positive manner and makes the rest of your day better because of maybe something I said. That is obviously the only thing I could ever ask for. Have I always done that? No. Have I made the videos that I want to create sometimes? No. I think two very big examples are the Has Been Hotel video that I made and Pokemon TCG GBA game specifically. Not that it, and like in both of those videos did well in their own aspects, but like Has Been Hotel was just something I wanted to talk about and I didn't even really bring up all that much. I was just like, hey, go watch this show. And that is a part of my videos and everything, is recommending things to you guys that I think not only you would like, but also resonated with me. But Has Been Hotel didn't resonate with me in the sense of like, this will change me or this will impact me as a human being. It kind of just happened and I'm waiting for the next season. So I don't want to make stuff like that anymore. I don't want to make something because of the fact like, oh, this is popular and this is out right now, I need to jump on this. I don't want to do that. Like if it comes to me at the time when it came out, then like cool, and if it impacted me, then like yeah, I'll make a video if I feel obligated to do so. But I don't want to make a video on everything. I truthfully just want to make videos and art about stuff that I am passionate about and about stuff that really means a lot to me, and just that's what I want to do. And the first half of this little excerpt, I guess, from my journal was me saying I'm not ready, but the second half is really saying I should make it because I'm not ready. And that is kind of also the mindset of being an artist and everything. And I know this sounds very, again, I don't know the word I'm trying to say, but the only thing that comes to mind is asshole-ish, or not prejudice. It starts with a P, though. Persuasive? No. My roommate said this to me. Said, Casey, this is very blank. And it means, like, it's not like, it's like pompous, but it's not pompous. I don't know what word it is, but I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly what I'm trying to say, and I'm just dumb and stupid. Type that word out in the comments. Engage the algorithm. You guys don't have to, that's fine. I don't care. I think when I was younger, I definitely wanted to do this to, like, be famous, make money, all that biz, but now I just want to share a piece of my soul, honestly, and I don't think that's an issue, personally. I think, if anything, sharing a part of your soul publicly and putting yourself out there is one of the scariest things you can do. As someone who is a fucking introvert and is scared of human interaction constantly, but sometimes you have to do the things that you're scared of in order to overcome those fears. Now, even though I'm an introvert, I do like talking with people. I love talking to strangers when I feel confident enough to do so, which is a little bit more than you'd think, but also not as much as you'd probably think. But I think the next video I will be making will be the video that I haven't made yet. It does cover some things that I don't know if I'm ready to talk about, but I think I should talk about them. Just because, like, I just can't ignore things anymore. I'm saying everything very vaguely, but, like, it's really not. I mean, it is a big deal to me, but it just, in the grand scheme of everything, in the grand scheme of the universe, my problems are not the world's problems. If that, like, the world has enough to deal with right now as it does, and I don't want to add to that. I want to add to the positivity, and again, add to this whole thing of just, I want to impact people in a very positive way, and that's how I want to do things. Positively. Not for anger, not for the sake of greed, not for the sake of success. And that word is also, like, very, like, fluid, in the sense that success can be whatever you really make of it. But if I see a comment that says, hey, this really impacted me a whole lot, or this meant a lot when you said this because I'm going through the same thing, those kind of comments and those criticisms and just everything, those are the messages that make me want to improve and make me want to do more of this kind of stuff. And that's another thing that I've just been thinking about a whole lot, of just, like, what do I want to do? I know I want to create art, I just don't know exactly how to do it. And if you don't think what I'm doing is making art, then that's totally fine. Like, that is your prerogative, that's your thought process, everything. But, I mean, I think it is, and that's all that kind of matters, I feel like. Okay. I mean, that was a lot of, wow, that voice crack was crazy. That was a lot of what I wanted to talk about, in all honesty. I guess to back what I was saying, what I want to do, I know I want to create art. I just don't know exactly how I'm going to, like, survive and, like, make a living off of it, but I know I like doing it, so I think I'm just gonna keep doing it, and I know something good will come. Because that's another thing about me, is that, like, I'm very stubborn. Stubborn in good ways and in bad ways. The good stubbornness is, like, me never giving up, and me always moving forward, and maybe not forward, but me always moving in a direction, you know? I'm never stopping. I'm never stagnant. I should never stay stagnant. Not to say that stagnantness doesn't occur in our lives. Like, it does, obviously, but... And sometimes you need to be stagnant for a couple days, but just don't stay stagnant. Don't stay comfortable. And if you're really not comfortable in your current situation, then do something about it. Act upon it. If someone is upsetting you, then just talk about it. And this is a thing from Black Clover. Shout out to my roommate and friend Emily, who got me into Black Clover. Love that show. Didn't think I would love it as much as I do, but I like it a lot. There's a quote from Black Clover. There's two quotes, actually, that mean a lot to me. Is surpass your limits, obviously, which is something that I wholeheartedly believe in, is that you should always try to be 1% better than you were the day before, and in whatever way you think that is. So, for example, every day I do a little bit of like a workout, and it's not a crazy workout, and every month I add 5 to this regiment or whatever. If I do it every day, then that's like, that can be that 1%, you know. Or I'm also learning Spanish, so maybe try to do one more lesson or learn one more word, or try to implement one word into your vocabulary every single day. I should probably do that. I think that would actually help me a whole lot. You don't have to do 10% in one day, because then your body's gonna feel real tired. But if you can just do one every single day, then I guarantee you will feel better. And it can be one of anything. Like, if you work out every day, then, like, and if you do so-and-so push-ups, then just do one the next day, or just do one more, and then add another. You know, it's just stuff like that. Like, that's probably the easiest 1% thing we could probably allude to. And surpassing your limits can also be kind of scary, and it can also be tiring. Because there was a time last year when I was working on a big project for my friend's band, and I worked 6 months like constantly on this, and I still somehow found time to like edit videos for the channel and stuff, which is insane. During that 6-month period, I would maybe get like 4 to 6 hours of sleep every night, because I was just working on that, and I would not really have much time to do much else. Like, I still, don't get me wrong, I took breaks when I needed to, but they weren't plentiful or anything. They were just when my body needed it, so I didn't like just combust kind of thing. The only thing that stuck in my mind the whole time I was working on that project was surpass your limits, surpass your limits, surpass your limits. And when I finished the project, I don't think I've ever felt more fulfilled, honestly, or at least I didn't feel, maybe I did feel fulfilled, but I hadn't felt that feeling in a very long time, and I've been trying to chase that feeling again, which is why I've been trying to push myself so much on these creative projects, even if they don't become videos, like all these collages. And that's another thing I wrote down, is that trying something new, because I'm also, this is like not on the back burner, but this is kind of like, you know, I'm switching the pots every now and again. I'm working on a painting right now, and I haven't really painted in an actual like painting in a very long time, and it's not gonna be anything extravagant by any means, but it's gonna be extravagant to me because it's something I haven't done in such a long time, and I wanna get back into like physical things. I guess I want to get back into like making physical art. Yeah, there's something cool about like Casey using like paper and all of his like YouTube videos and shit, but like it's different when you can when you walk by it every day in your house, you know? It's like, oh shit, I made that. That's pretty dope. That's pretty cool. And then the other quote that really stuck with me was, being weak isn't a problem, staying weak is. And that just fucking blew my mind, honestly. This is something in the US that we don't really accept, is weakness, which I think is fucking bullshit. I think you are a much stronger person if you admit the fact that you are weak, that you gave into an urge, that you gave into being a human. That's not an issue. And if you feel weak, that's not an issue. That's okay. You're allowed to feel weak. You're allowed to cry. As someone who cries multiple times a week, that's fine. But doing it constantly, doing it as your first thought, that's when you gotta stop. It's fine if you're feeling very emotional. Like, it's totally fine if you cry. And that's another thing we really need to accept in the US, is that crying is okay, specifically for men. And there's a whole thing about masculinity these past couple years, which I would love to talk about in a video. And I have an idea for the video already. Like, and that's the thing about me, is that I have 50 videos lined up and everything. I don't just wake up one morning and it's like, yeah, I want to talk about this specific thing, actually. No, it's not. It's more so like where my headspace is at. Like, oh, okay, I'm feeling this way. Do any of the current ideas align with that feeling? Stuff like that. And currently there is one video that I've had an idea for half a year now that I think needs to happen, and that's the video that I need to make. I want to make it, but now I need to make it because I know I would feel better after it's done. And it's just another piece of my soul for people to view, and which is scary, but you know, it's okay. And I'm man enough to admit the fact that I am weak. I am a weak person. I cry all the time. Not that that's an issue. It's very strong to cry, but like, I don't know. I guess when you think of weak, you tend to think of like a crybaby, I guess, which isn't always the best thing. But I am a crybaby. I cry all the fucking time. I cry whenever I think of something sad or see something sad, and then I'll cry when something super happy happens, or even if just something hits me, like every now and again. Like, it just, I cry, and that just happens, and that's also okay. I'd say that I'm a weak person, but I'm becoming a stronger person because of it. Because to truly be a strong person, you need to know weakness, and to truly be a weak person, you need to have one point known what it was like to be a strong person. Damn, this has been a lot of fun, actually, just sitting here and yapping and talking, even though I haven't really cut out a whole lot of things. This has just been nice and everything. I think this has been a nice little break. This has just been nice, I guess. Not even I guess. This has been a really, really good thing for me. Been nice to just talk and get some of these feelings out, which is also another thing I need to do more of. I guess something that people might consider that in the past would have considered strong is keeping your emotions in, kind of holding yourself together. But if you have an emotional outburst every now and again, that's okay, because that just means that you really needed to get those feelings out, and you weren't letting it happen, but your body let it happen. And unfortunately, I don't think that can happen all the time. I think that is something that people need to figure out and learn for themselves, because everyone is different. Everyone's going to have a different outlook and a different way of expressing their emotions, and even a way of coping with their emotions and everything. And also, coping mechanisms don't stick around for life. They grow and change just like us. Like, some of the coping mechanisms that I had in high school probably won't work now. Some of them might, but some probably won't. I feel like I say this every year, but I think we're starting to move in the right direction. I mean, especially since I was a kid, at least when it comes to emotions and acknowledging them, we have never been in a safer time period, honestly. In terms of admitting to mental illness and admitting that something is wrong with us, I think society's been great for that as of recently, but still some people won't admit, and there will always be people who won't, but I think they just need to understand that it's not weakness to admit a fault or to even say you're sorry. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Some of us, like me, just happen to say sorry too much because we want to take the blame from something else. We want our friends and family and loved ones to be happy all the time, and we want to be the ones to make sure that they are. And if one small thing makes them upset, then we would rather have them blame us than anyone else or anything else. Which, that's like the truth of it all, honestly. I kept wondering as to why I kept saying sorry over and over again. but then I would apologize for saying I'm sorry, but even though I still feel bad, and it was just this circle of just not good thoughts, honestly, and just not good ways of dealing with it. But I think the conclusion is that I just want people to be happy, and I want my loved ones to feel happy, and I would much rather my loved ones get mad at me over being mad at somebody else. Because there's already too much hate in the world, and I guess I would much rather have the hate directed at me than go anywhere else. Which is a little sad if you think about it, but it's also kind of beautiful in the sense. And that's another thing that I've been working on, is I have been trying to find the beauty in the mundane and in everything. I think I always kind of romanticized the extravagant and romanticized the craziness, but since I've become 24 and since after Europe, and especially after meeting a very specific person in my life, I have been embracing the mundane. I have loved the mundane, and that's beautiful. Not to say that the extravagant isn't amazing, because obviously it is, but the mundane is also very beautiful as well. Hell yeah. I think it's been nice for you guys to kind of see me in this sort of way. Not that you guys don't see me for who I am, because I think that is something that I kind of have the edge over other channels sometimes, is authenticity. And that's another thing that I've been very proud of the internet recently, is authenticity. There are less of these big name people, and it's all about the individual creative now, and things are becoming less corporate on YouTube specifically, and I think that's awesome. And if something is corporate, then we've been shunning it, and I think that's even more awesome. Like, we're acknowledging the corporateness, but we're not ignoring it. We're acknowledging it, but we are moving forward, and we are not we're not getting caught up in anything, basically. I guess when I say I think we're moving in the right direction, I guess I don't necessarily say the world, because again, the world is really fucked up right now, but I think we are, in terms of the internet, we are starting to move in the right direction, I feel like. And I've also been very happy with the fact that a lot of people have been fighting against AI, which is awesome. Like, obviously, all of the corporate people really, like, took it and have run with it. But so far, that's, like, the only people I've really seen use it, at least in my mind. Because, like, I know what to look for when it comes to, like, AI, I guess, especially, like, AI videos. I'm just happy that, again, the individuals are coming back, basically. Like, if you write all of your own stuff, and if you edit all of your own stuff, and you produce your own stuff, and you film all of your own stuff, like, those people have always existed, obviously, but now those people are, like, some of the biggest names on the platform. Like, Gox Art. If you just love art in general, go subscribe to Gox. Like, he's fire. He is fucking muy fuego. Like, holy shit. Like, that is some shit that I aspire to be. And kind of on that topic, I guess, I don't know if everything I'm gonna make is gonna be like the way I've been making things. I definitely think everybody should find their own style, but I don't think your style should become a formula, if that makes sense. And I think that was part of the problem with some of the stuff that I was making. I've kind of found this formula that worked. And again, not a bad thing if it works. That means it's successful. Not that I even got bored with it. I just didn't want it to feel disgenuine. And maybe in my mind, things were starting to feel disgenuine. And I think they were in very weird senses because, for example, when I got 1,000 subscribers, I should have been happier than I was when I got 1,000 subs. And truthfully, that day that I got 1,000 subs was an emotional mess for me. I was happy on one hand, but then there was other things going on that just stressed me out. I was truthfully an emotional wreck that day for good reasons and for bad reasons. Again, like, you guys kind of pushed me to make more videos, and you guys pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I can't thank you enough for that. Like, there's only so much pushing I can do, and granted, I should do all the pushing because this is my life, but that doesn't mean we don't like help every now and again, you know? And people should ask for more help. That's another thing humans need to do, is just ask for help. There's nothing wrong about that. It goes back to the whole, like, weakness thing. Like, you're not weak. You may feel weak for asking for help, but you're not. You're stronger than anybody because you did ask for help. You asked for help when no one else would. And that should say something. Because you can't go through life all by yourself. You just can't. You can't navigate everything on your lonesome. That's why we have, like, you know, like, partners and everything. And that's why, like, business partners, romantic partners, friends can be partners, you know, just like partners in crime, you know, robbing a bank. It takes more than one person to do that, guys. Like, get it together. Get your alibi moving. Kind of, I guess, like, wrap it up, because I've been talking for almost an hour, and that's kind of crazy. I don't know, this has just been really nice, really good. I guess, yeah, here's how I'll leave things. I'm only 24, I'm nowhere near done growing, and that's beautiful. And truthfully, I don't think we ever stop growing in life. Even if we're 90, we're still gonna figure something out that we didn't know when we were 89, you know? So the fact that I am still growing means that I have so much more to go, and that's beautiful. I know it sounds scary, and it is scary sometimes, don't get me wrong, but right now I feel blessed that I can feel that way, that things are gonna be messy, but they're not gonna be messy all the time, and when things do get messy, I'll be fine with it, because I'll know how to navigate it, and if I don't know how to navigate it, then I will figure it out. Because I see my life going through a lot of changes, I guess. I mean, in terms of, like, my life, so much has changed in just, like, 2 years, honestly. I'm a different person than I was even just a couple years ago, and I need to finally accept that. Wow, that feels... I have, like, goosebumps right now. Like, that was really crazy for me to say to a camera, but I feel really good about it. I don't really know what else to say. I'm just excited to see where I'll be in the future and the people that I'll surround myself with, because again, I'm very lucky in the sense that I have an amazing support system in multiple different locations, but that doesn't mean that my little group can't get bigger, you know? I got a lot of love to give, and I'm already giving a lot of other people a whole lot of love, but I could always give that love to a lot more people, including you guys out there. So I just hope you're having a really good day, and if you don't feel loved for whatever reason, then just know that I'm sending you my love and everything, and that we'll get through it together, and that we don't have to have everything figured out right now. I'm 24. There's no reason for me to have everything figured out. If you're watching this and if you're 18, there's no reason for you to have your life figured out by 18. And if you're 34, there's no reason to have your life figured out at 34. And if you're 55, there's no reason for you to have everything figured out. Like, we just don't have the answer to everything, and that's fine. That's fine. And that's another thing that's kind of crazy to say. I'm fine. I'm here. And that's something I haven't said out loud in a very long time. But I'm happy. I'm happy that I said that. It feels really good that I said that. So now that we have everything cut out and organized, we can finally move on to the final part of this whole project, which is gluing down everything. And as you'll probably be seeing inside of this montage here, the reason why I specifically choose to use liquid glue or glue all on the background is simply because of the fact that I believe that the liquid glue holds a lot more than the just regular glue stick. Like after a while, the glue stick will kind of deteriorate over time, so you might have to re-glue some things, which is why we choose to do the background. Because if you choose to use a glue stick on the background, your whole project may just fall off of the cardboard. And if you're using a different material other than cardboard as like your base, so like a piece of paper or a different kind of material, a glue stick will probably stick better. But if you're using a thicker substance or something that's not exactly like glue friendly, so anything like cardboard or something a lot more stiffer than that, if you're using wood, I would highly suggest using hot glue or Gorilla Glue of sorts. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see all of you in the next step. Alright, so now that we have all of the background glued down, we can finally move on to the final step, which is gluing all of the details and kind of the story we want to tell when it comes to this specific collage. So when I began organizing everything, I really figured out how many different vignettes of the Everything But the Rain arc there really were. So I did officially decide right there and then that this would be an Everything But the Rain collage. Obviously, if you know the story of Bleach, you know why this specific story point and this specific flashback is so important to the story. It fully encapsulates so many themes and questions that you never even thought about asking but are finally getting answered regardless if you thought about them or not. And it also just really means a lot to me in general. So I've read through the entire manga once, and I have watched the entirety of the original Bleach anime once, and I've rewatched some episodes here and there. But when it comes to Thousand Year Blood War, I have seen the entirety of seasons 1 and 2 at least 3 times, probably more like 4 or 5 at this point. I've seen all of Core 3 only once. However, not to date this video or anything, but when Core 4 finally gets a specific date release, I will be going back and rewatching the entire series of Thousand Year Blood War, because that's what I did for when season 2 came out, and that's also what I did for when season 3 came out. So I just watched the previous seasons just to not only catch up on it, but to also re-familiarize myself, because the seasons come out almost every 2 years, like more year and a half maybe, like at least a year. So I wanted to give it its time to kind of ferment in my head, and then also for me just to catch up with a story that I just love. Every single time I watch the Everything But the Rain 2-part episode, I find myself crying immensely, simply because of the fact that not only is this a very gut-wrenching story, but I just love the romance between Masaki and Ichigo's father. There's just something about that romance that just really hits home, especially how he describes Misaki as the son, because that is something that I can relate to. I just find it something very, very beautiful, and I think that's why I really wanted to make this an Everything But the Rain collage, is because of that one specific moment, and also in the fact that this series obviously means a lot to me. And I kind of really wanted this collage to be a representation of how much love I have for the series. So enjoy me gluing down all of these little pieces, and I will see you guys for the final closing remarks and my thoughts about doing all of this. Alright, hello everyone, and this is kind of the closing remarks section, as I kind of stated in the previous voiceover that you guys heard. I don't exactly have a script for this or anything. I'm kind of just talking off the dome as of this moment, so we'll see exactly how this works, but suffice it to say, I am extremely proud of this collage in particular compared to all of the other ones. I think because of the fact that there was a crucial emotional attachment to this piece, specifically of the collages that I have made using materials that I own. This is probably my favorite physical collage that I've made. My favorite digital collage is still the one hung up and framed in my room. There's obvious connotations as to why I love that, because of the fact that I made everything, and I just get a certain satisfaction, and I'm sure everyone else gets a certain satisfaction when they create something using objects from their daily lives or using objects that they own, because you're using something that you obviously love and are creating something that you love, possibly even more. And yeah, I mean, this project just really meant a lot to me, and I'm glad that you guys watched my process and hopefully enjoyed watching the process. And again, I really hope that this whole video inspires at least just one person out there to go and create a collage and create something beautiful and take the time to step back and relax for a minute and kind of reassess some things. This project really helped me reassess some stuff going on in my life that may or may not have to do with like this final product and everything. And it just, I feel like this project meant a lot to me, and hopefully you guys can see that. I think it's very apparent how much it meant to me, and I'm just really happy to share this experience with the world, and it's really just more so like if this cheered someone up, you know, like that's all that really matters. And hopefully you guys are seeing a part of me that will be showing up a lot more on the channel. Not Caseynerdbro, but Casey. Because I think that's what I've been missing a lot of, is this non-persona, being as authentic as I can be, because putting yourself on the internet is very scary, even if you're just posting like Instagram photos of yourself in your daily life. There's something still so scary about that, because you're being perceived. Just putting something out there on the internet is basically enticing a random person to look at you and perceive you for not who you are, but who you are representing in that specific moment. And that can be very scary, and I've done that a lot over my lifetime, and not only does it feel kind of natural, but recently it's been very scary, almost very intimate. And not to say that that's a bad thing. I think it's good that I am doing all of this, and I am, simply because of the fact that I think it is helping with my confidence and kind of helping out with my headspace, because I do genuinely believe me making these videos and me working on projects and creating stuff that I love really helps navigate where I am in my life, if that makes sense, or at least it makes me feel human If that makes, I think that's the whole point of making art, though, is to feel human. And hopefully you all can feel human as you make your own collage. Hopefully. I was going somewhere else with that kind of final note, but I think it's going to be lost to time, and that's okay, because sometimes we all need to be a little lost to be found, whether it's by ourselves or another person or by the public, I guess. There has to be a moment in time when we think we've lost ourselves, but we'll always come back. And if you haven't found yourself in a very long time, it's okay. You aren't alone. I've definitely felt like that for a while, and it's becoming to the point now where I can finally look into the mirror and I can see myself again, and that's really, really beautiful. And I hope to continue doing that, and I hope to continue to find my true authentic self and to share it with other people, to not only show my growth as a human being, but to also say and show everyone that you aren't the only person going through this. I'm in the weird point in my life right now, in that mid-20s range of just, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to make the best of it and everything, and you know what, that's okay, that's fine, that's just how life is at this given point. But I'm not stressed or I'm not overthinking anything, because I know that eventually my dreams will come true, whatever those dreams may be, and I know that I'm going to work at it to make sure that it happens. But I think that's enough yapping for one day. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't yet, or not. It's all your choice at the end of the day. But I just hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, of course, and have a good life and everything. If you're not having a good day today, still wake up tomorrow, and I can almost assure that tomorrow will be better than today. At least that's my hope, and I'm cheering you on, I guess. So have a good one, and I'll be seeing you all in another video. Peace.